It's April 28, 1997. The city of Thousand Oaks is considered one of the safest places to live in the country. It's Mayberry in America until 10:20 a.m. That's when Thousand Oaks is never the same. On this Monday, at Western Financial Bank, there's a manager and 3 tellers. There's no security guard, no locking front door. There's no plexiglass to protect or separate employees from the customers. The tellers are sitting ducks when 2 armed men walk in.
Witnesses say the robbers handcuffed one of the tellers and then forced another teller to let them into the vault.
With nylon stockings over their faces, they're disguised as construction workers.
The guys who committed this robbery were not stupid.
The robbers get all the employees into the back room. They're in front of the safe. Bank teller Monica Leech is ordered to open it. It would be the last thing she would ever do.
The lady was on the floor. There was obviously a lot of blood.
The shooting was an execution-style shooting. It was just a vicious, cold-blooded killing.
I have 3 children, and I just can't imagine leaving for work one morning and never coming home.
You never expect a day like that to change so dramatically and shift in one blink of an eye.
There are still so many unanswered questions about that deadly April morning. The biggest mystery: who killed Monica Leech? To understand what happened, we have to leave Thousand Oaks and travel 50 miles and a world away to 51st and Avalon in South LA.
South Park, Barry White Square, man. My name is Perry Dado. My government name, friends, community member, they call me Avalon Blue.
Perry Dado is a larger-than-life personality. Everyone at South Park either knows him or needs him.
I love you.
He spends most of his afternoons here after work. It's his second home. It's where he raised himself and started gangbanging as a 10-year-old boy.
My generation is the first batch of kids that have crack mamas. And when we was growing up, we had friends of mine that parents wasn't able to take care of them the way some other parents was.
For Perry, joining the Crips as a kid didn't feel like joining a gang. It was a means of survival, stealing food so his friends could eat, finding people to trust and depend on amid so much uncertainty. He recalls the person who bought him shoes so he could play football at school wasn't a member of his family, but the local drug dealer.
It's like a flock of sheep without a shepherd. When my mom died, my grandmother still had 3 kids staying at home. And she already got a lot on her plate as going on. So I had so much built up anger in me because I felt cheated. Gangbanging gave me an opportunity to act out.
The Crips are really one of the oldest gangs in the South Los Angeles area. Their roots are very much here. Ironically, they have spread all over the world. To understand the Crips is to understand a very lengthy, very complex picture of a street organization that began in the Southern California area. I'm Georgia Leap. I'm a professor at the UCLA Luskin School. I've been working with gangs for 40 years, and my work has been based in South Los Angeles. People think that gangs are about criminal activity, but they're really about economics. And what happened here in South LA is factories that were nearby on Alameda Street began to close down, and job opportunities and income narrowed significantly.
Old factories line Alameda Street like bones in a graveyard. Dr. Leap says when they closed, thousands of people lost their jobs, and the area never recovered. That all happened in the 70s. That same decade, California voters approved Prop 13. That was a big win for homeowners. It capped property taxes, but it meant a huge cut to programs that those taxes paid for, like school programs, law enforcement, and social services.
And this is sort of what you had percolating in South Los Angeles with the Crips. It was what actually civil rights attorney Connie Rice often refers to as the spiral of despair. You don't see the pain that goes into gang membership. You never see the reasons why people join gangs. You usually see a group of black youth or youth of color who are wearing bandanas and who are planning a mission, and that's sort of the long and the short of it, and it's terrifying. And it is one note when what it is a concerto. There's a lot of notes. We don't contextualize it. We'll hear about a crime where gangs are involved, and it's in that moment, at that time, in those 30 seconds. But there's a whole environment, there's a whole cause and effect around it.
In the late 80s to early 90s, to make money, the Crips largely sold drugs. What radically changed the game, Perry says, a group of white surfers.
Now, this is my opinion. You ever seen Point Break?
Rock and roll.
So what they did, gave the blueprint to some kids on how to rob a bank. And some people went on to take their chances based off seeing, in my opinion, Point Break.
A movie with white surfers. What could be more ironic? And one of the things you have to understand with any crime, particularly in a street organization, is if they find out that it works, they're going to do it again and again and again.
And just like that, seemingly overnight, Southern California became the bank robbery capital of the country.
There are banks on virtually every corner throughout Southern California, and a lot of them are located in convenient places where it's easy to get off the freeway and stop in and take care of a transaction, especially going back, before ATMs and things like that. So banks invested in security based on certain branches being frequent targets of robberies. So the ones that were either less frequently robbed or virtually never robbed, that might have been a little further outlying and not right next to a freeway corridor, there was less investment in security.
During the 90s, Southern California was like the Wild West. At its peak in 1992, the FBI estimates more than 2,600 banks were robbed. That's an average of 7 per day. And instead of fighting each other in South LA, gangs started venturing out to places like Thousand Oaks.
I wouldn't take a chance on doing a crime that takes 90 seconds than selling dope, committing crime 365.
Coming up,
we know that this was done by a crew of Crips gang members from LA.
I believe that if people do bad things, they need to pay for what they do.
the bank robbery that altered thousands of lives. It's a Monday morning in 1997. 50 miles from South LA, the community of Thousand Oaks seems otherworldly. It's a place where people leave their doors unlocked. It's where Floyd Leech has lived for most of his life, and it's where he met his second wife, Monica.
Yeah, that morning she left for work, and we gave each other a kiss and said, "See you later." She walked out the door to go to her job, and I walked out the door to go to my job.
At the time, Floyd Leech was 43. He still lives in the same area in a home just a couple miles from the former Western Financial Bank.
I think about it a lot. Every time I talk to one of her kids, it comes back. You know, her kids now have kids. And so every time I do that, I'm still close with all of her family.
Monica and Floyd met in church. It was the first time Floyd felt happy in months.
6 months prior, my first wife had passed of a medical condition, and so we started hanging around together and then started dating, and then 7 months after we started dating, we got married. When Monica and I decided to get married, my oldest son says, "Well, you're not going to replace my mom." And she said, "I'm not trying to." And then shortly after that, they got very, very close. And my second son was always close with her. Monica was very instrumental in helping my boys out as well as her family. You know, I mean, we didn't have his and hers. We were all together, you know, and that's just the way it was. I mean, I loved her kids, she loved my kids, and it worked out very, very well.
Monica worked in banking for 20 years. After she got married to Floyd, to be closer to home, she transferred to Western Financial Bank. She worked there for about 2 months and got to know customers, like the chiropractor next door.
This is the same center, essentially. There might be a little bit of different guts inside some of the suites, but everything looks the same. I'm Dr. Rick Schwartzberg. I'm Dr. Chiropractic, and I had an office right there next to the bank when the shooting occurred. It was definitely a normal day at first, at least I thought it was. And in between patients, I'd often go over to my office, which outlooked the parking lot there. And that's when I saw somebody just barrel through, run right by my office super fast. And it was unusual, so I took note. I was like, I wonder what's going on. But I didn't hear anything. So I went and saw the next patient in the room when I got the call immediately to come out, because one of the tellers was there saying that Monica had been shot.
She led them to the vault, gave them money, did everything they demanded, and for reasons that we still don't understand, the person who was handcuffing her held a gun to the back of her head. He shot her.
The shooting was an execution-style shooting. The teller was cooperative with them, posed no threat to them in terms of detaining them or delaying their escape or identifying them. So there was no reason at all. It was just a vicious, cold-blooded killing.
And one of my coworkers was listening to the radio at work, and they'd said there'd been a bank robbery in Thousand Oaks. I took a drive and went up to where she worked, and it was all ribboned off. But there was a whiteboard there, and it said there was one victim and gave the age, and white female. And so I pretty much knew, because I knew her other co-workers.
Everybody was saying, is there anything you do to help? I said I could try. Not knowing whether it would work or not, but not thinking it likely would, we attempted to do CPR. During the CPR part, obviously, maybe for a second it looked like things might be improving, but it was pretty rapidly apparent it wasn't.
Monica is the only one who was shot. She died on the vault room floor. To the robbers, her life was worth a few $1,000s. They got away with $9 grand.
It wasn't a video game that you can just reset and make it all back the way it was. She was a real person. She was very loving and loved her family and her kids, and a real person. This one is the 6 of us before everything happened.
Wow. For a long time, it was hard for Floyd to talk about Monica. But for the first time in decades, he's ready to revisit that devastating Monday again. In fact, he's the reason the case is back in the spotlight. His persistence inspired the Ventura County Sheriff's Office to re-examine old evidence, because the 2 bank robbers who killed Monica that day still haven't been caught. Coming up,
we know that this was done by a crew of Crips gang members from LA.
Why cops think they finally have what they need to arrest the killers. Shortly after Monica's brutal murder, local banks and donors raised $160,000 in reward money, hoping someone would turn in the killers. There was surveillance video, not great images, but still usable, and witness descriptions led to these composite sketches. Police even got the getaway car, and yet, no arrests.
We don't often see something go this long without the right pieces of information coming into our lab, especially at the time with that large reward. There were banks that came together and put up money to encourage people to come forward. The vehicle was later recovered. They repainted it. We have those pieces of evidence. We have those handcuffs, we have the evidence collected from inside the bank. We just need to get those last couple of pieces to carry this across the goal line.
Now, 24 years later, there is some hope for a break in the case. Evidence that's been sitting in storage for decades can now be retested with new equipment that extracts trace amounts of DNA.
Touch DNA is when somebody basically touches an item and deposits some of their cells onto it. These cells have considerably less DNA in them than bodily fluids like blood or saliva or semen. So with technology advancing over the years, it's gotten a lot more sensitive to be able to detect smaller amounts of DNA. So this has become very helpful in cases where the only evidence available is touch DNA.
If the DNA is viable, it'll be uploaded to the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS. It's a computer database that connects DNA labs at the local, state, and national levels. It checks the DNA profiles of thousands of convicted offenders, unidentified remains, and the relatives of missing people.
I believe that if people do bad things, they need to pay for what they do. And so getting those guys would just close a chapter in my life, as far as not the memories, not the all of that, but as far as closing the chapter of wondering where these guys are and what they're doing today.
Monica Leech's 1997 murder happened at a small bank in Thousand Oaks. But if you follow the clues to the origin of this story, you'll end up in South LA.
We know that this was done by a crew of Crips gang members from LA. We had several involving this crew and similar crews coming up to Ventura County and targeting banks, and they were doing this all over Southern California. And that was their preferred method of getting money, was going around doing these takeover robberies. You know, the FBI had numerous cases throughout Southern California involving this crew and other crews that were part of an organized criminal street gang.
Perry Dado doesn't know who committed the robbery and murder of Monica Leech, but he believes he knows why it happened.
A lot of them dudes that did the robberies was desperate. I'm not saying they was right for doing it. Them dudes was desperate.
Desperation and poverty. Is that what makes a cold-blooded killer? Not necessarily, but it's a starting point. Perry was one of the many Crips that ended up serving time for robbery. He didn't kill anyone, but he knows the pain he caused.
I went to jail first time of second-degree robbery.
And do you regret that?
I regret it. I regret it. I really didn't have to go, but I didn't have nobody else to show me nothing different. I didn't have nobody. I didn't have high self-esteem. I think about the victim. If I had a chance to meet the victim again, I would shake his hand, I apologize to him. And maybe I didn't get away with nothing, but just by the traumatization, I said, bro, I was young, bro, and I know the better, bro. And I apologize for that, man. And at the time, my situation felt desperate, bro.
Things for Perry are different today. He's part of United We Stand Up, a group that works to bring Bloods and Crips together and keep peace on the streets. It's one of the main reasons he remains an active gang member.
I feel like I grew up in an orphanage. These dudes already been left already. They already had short change already. They already got their back turned, people turned their back on them already. They don't need me to turn my back on them too. This man right here, right? His son is a rival gang member of mine. That at once upon a time, it had been a shootout on site, right? Oh yeah, I was there.
That's you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's me. This was us at a meeting.
That's my son right there.
And once again, I want to thank all the tribe members for coming out, and the sisters is here to support us.
They are very intent on healing this community and many others like it, and they feel it is sort of what they've got to do. They have to heal these communities that they once sought to destroy. And they are very dedicated, first of all, to healing the community, and second of all, to making sure youth do not follow that same pathway.
You know, I love the hood, but I'm not gonna do no violence for the hood. If I'm gonna represent Avalon, I'm gonna represent the grown man side of it.
From Avalon on the east side of South LA to Thousand Oaks Boulevard on the outskirts of LA County, families impacted by pain and suffering.
This affected so many people. You know, this kind of act, it wasn't just affecting me. You know, it affected her kids, it affected my kids, it affected her parents and her siblings and their kids and aunts and uncles and cousins, and I mean, it's just huge, you know, what an act like this does. It's not just the person that they kill that is, I mean, these people all have families. When this first happened, Monica's 2 children went to live with their father. The kids were 11 and 14, so, you know, they went through their teen years and adolescence without a mom.
There are gangs everywhere. There will always be gangs. What's really important is that we have the right people working with gang members, that this is not a law enforcement issue, that this is a public health issue, this is a community issue. This involves our families, our children, people that we know. And more than anything, we have to confront the issues that brought them into existence in the first place. Poverty, did I say poverty?
It's been a tough road, you know, and the thing is I know that regardless how this works out, there's certain things that aren't going to go away.
Detectives believe Monica's killers are still alive. There's currently a $31,000 reward for anyone that has information that leads to their arrest. If you know anything about that Monday in April, you're urged to contact the Ventura County Sheriff's Department.